Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? Prepare yourself to embark on a journey from which you will never fully return. Your horizons will be expanded beyond belief. Do you believe in God? Because you're about to see God tonight.
Hello! It's getting hot under there. I forgot my first line. Let me just say thank you all so much for coming tonight. This is so crazy. I can't really see all of you, but it's super cool that you're all here. So why don't you give yourselves a round of applause? Fix my hair for a second. Okay. Oh yeah, all right, I'm Maud. And thank you all so much for coming to my TED Talk today. I am so excited for you guys to come on this journey with me. In the next 7 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to completely transform your body and life forever. Alright? Now, you may be thinking, who's this little Miss Thing? She is so skinny and put together. What can she possibly know about hardship and failure? Well, I'll tell you. 5 years ago, I was at rock bottom. I was stuck in a dead-end job. I had no friends or family. My life was in shambles. I didn't know where I was going, all right? I had forgotten how to read. I was stuck in a rut. I didn't know how to drive. I had never grown pubic hair. Something else. I had started using a very offensive Jamaican accent. And now look at me. You never believe the transformation. So how did I do it? Well, I'll tell you. Because it wasn't easy. But once you decide to start making a change, the repercussions are everlasting, let me tell you. I want you to think about the water cycle, all right? Ever heard of it? You've got precipitation, or rain, which falls down to the ground. It's then evaporated up by the sun until its final form, clouds or condensation. You see, back then, I was like precipitation. I was raining down on everything in my life with my bad attitude and my bad habits. In order to make a change, I had to evaporate all the parts of my personality that I didn't like until I could finally become a cloud. So how did I do it? Well, I'll tell you. I completely changed my body and life in 3 simple steps. Step 1, do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Okay? Just do it, all right? Stop procrastinating, okay? If you say you're going to write a book in the next year, write the book, okay? And if you don't do it, it's your fault. There's no one else to blame. That's rule number 1, okay? Rule number 2, cut out all sugar from your life. Okay? You can never eat sugar again. Now, I do not say this lightly, but sugar is like the devil's cocaine. Okay? You might be thinking, isn't cocaine the devil's cocaine? No. That's what he wants you to think. at my lowest point, cutting out sugar would have gotten rid of 90% of my problems. Lack of motivation, lethargy, feelings of hopelessness, loss of interest in activities I once enjoyed, and people constantly saying, she's just a little bit weird. All of that could have been gone if I had just cut out sugar. And now, rule number 3. And this is the most important, all right? You absolutely must go to college and graduate with a computer science degree. This is the only way to be successful. And then once you've got your cushy job and your cushy apartment with your cushy salary, then you can pursue your real dreams, like on the weekends. Following these 3 steps was how I completely turned my life around. And let me tell you, my pubes, they're doing just fine. Now, you might be thinking, I can't possibly do all that. I'm not as smart as you, Maud. I'm not as brave. I'm not as pretty. I already graduated from college. And that may be true. But who cares, all right? If there's one thing I know, it's that you can't listen to your heart when your mind is speaking, okay? So tell your mind to shut up. Because listen has the same letters as silent. All right, I'm going to show you something. And some of you may have seen this before, but I think it's pretty incredible. All right, a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Okay. What's that mean? All right. Now try reading it backwards. It's the same expression. That's like all of you guys, okay? You're a word that's the same thing when you look at it backwards. But the beauty comes when you change your perspective. All right, I think you guys are starting to get it. Now, I just want to finish up my talk with one last exercise, okay? I want everyone to put down everything that's in their hands, okay? Just free up your hands, please. Thank you. I see some people actually doing it. And I want you all to repeat after me, okay? Can you do that? Not yet. All right, namaste, you guys. Thank you so much. My father was a smart man. Too smart for his own good, my mother used to say. You see, he was a professor, the kind that loved his students but hated his own family. He studied jokes, which is ironic because I never heard him laugh. He was something of a joke historian, a joke anthropologist. He was interested in any kind of joke. Knock-knock jokes, physical comedy, anyone falling down or hitting their head, men dressing up as women and getting themselves into sticky situations, racist jokes, or as we just called them back then, jokes, funny car horn sounds, impressions, anything. He would take it apart and analyze it until he could explain every piece of it. I don't know why he did that. I think it was because he was never a funny man himself. But regardless the reason, he would always win awards. He was an accomplished academic. Of course, that never meant a jot to me. All it meant was that Papa was never at home. Whenever he was at home, he was usually locked away in his study, grading papers and watching the Beverly Hillbillies, which was on at the time. The only time I really did see him was when he came home for dinner. My mother and I would scurry around, setting the table and serving him, and he would talk on end about whatever little project he was working on. You see, he believed that children should be seen and not heard, and I guess that applied to wives as well. Now, there was one memory that was particularly heartbreaking. The year was 1962, and it was the morning of my 8th birthday. My father suddenly announced that he would be going to Switzerland to interview the controversial Charlie Chaplin. I begged and pleaded for him to go. Papa! Papa! Please don't go, it's my birthday!
Harriet, get this little scamp away from me, all right? I'm gonna miss my plane.
Papa, please! You said you would take me to the carnival.
You know what? I don't have time for that, okay? Your mother will take you. Look, here's $5. Go buy yourself some popcorn or whatever you want.
Papa? That was only the first time. My heart was broken by my father. You see, that was back when I still loved him. But through the years, I learned I couldn't depend on him at all. When I was 14, he made a groundbreaking discovery that changed both of our lives forever. You see, he was exploring in some caves in Peru, and he found what was believed to be the first joke ever recorded. It brought him nationally acclaim, and he was offered a position at Harvard as their resident jokeologist. He accepted and told my mother and I that we were not invited. You would think that at that point there was nothing my father could do that could hurt me anymore. But yet, the last piece of my heart broke in two and shattered. Yet, this discovery that he made lived on. And do you want to know what it is? This discovery which took my father away from me forever? It was a little drawing in a cave of a little caveman mooning a woolly mammoth. Can you believe that? A little caveman's butt, and my father was gone for good. Now, I did feel some relief when my father left. Finally, I was going to live life my way. I went out with boys, I wore short skirts and flirted. My mother couldn't control me, nobody could. Then when I was 17, my father decided to invite me to his house in Cambridge for the summer. The minute I got there, I knew it was a mistake. My father took one look at me and scoffed. "Do you want to say something, Dad?" "I guess your mother's just letting you do whatever you want. I knew I could never trust that woman." "Oh, like you ever cared, Dad." "I did care about you, and I would never let a daughter of mine walk around looking like such a slut. And all that crap on your face, you look ridiculous."
Oh, I look ridiculous, do I? Have I become a joke to you? Because maybe then you'll take an interest in me. No, you know what you need to tell a joke? You need to have love in your heart. And that is something that you will never understand. Get out of my eyes. Gladly. After that, I didn't see my father again for 12 years. I went out with many men, had many relationships, yet I never married. They were all too clingy, too emotional. Then one day, I get a call. Some woman saying, "Your dad's sick. He wants to see you." I said, "I don't have a dad," just to be like a little bit snappy. But instead she got confused and thought she had the wrong number. So I went to him. When I finally met him, he was lying in bed. He looked gray and pale and sweaty, just like the husk of a man I'd always known him to be. It softened me a little seeing him like that. I went and sat by his bedside. "Pops, you don't look so good." "Oh, this is nothing." "Why did you call me here?" "There's something I want to say to you." "What more could you possibly have to say to me?" "How about I'm sorry? I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I was never there for you. You deserved a better father than me. And I hope you can forgive me. I think I was just afraid to love you the way you deserve to be loved." "Father, thank you for saying that. With your words, you've just undone years and years of torment and fixed my completely unhealthy relationship with men." "I'm glad to hear it. There's something else too. That picture, my discovery, I forged it. It was completely made up. I drew it myself and then took a picture." "Papa, no!" "Yes, it's true. And if you want, you can use that knowledge to ruin me and my legacy. God knows I deserve it." "No, I couldn't do that. It's funny thinking that you drew the picture. I'll treasure it forever." "You're such a sweet girl." The more we talked, the raspier and raspier his voice became, and the shallower his breathing was. The last words he ever said to me were, "Vivian, you were the greatest joke I Excuse me. Isn't life fun? Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Debbie. Now you are in for a very special treat today, friends, because we are making my mama's famous cornbread, all right? And that is going to be paired along with a delicious, juicy, roasted chicken and some very bland green beans. I'm afraid there is just no way to make green beans taste good. Alright, so now I have laid out all the ingredients for the cornbread here. We've got a cup of flour, a cup of cornmeal, 2/3 cup sugar. Now you can also substitute with half brown sugar if you so desire. Adds kind of a slightly more molassesy flavor. And then we've got a teaspoon of salt and 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Oh my goodness. Did I just say baking powder? Instead of baking powder? And on live TV too? Oh, silly old me. Balk much? Alright, now anyway, so we have assembled the dry ingredients, and I hope you all know the first rule of baking, which is get your dry ingredients first, then combine the wet. Alright? Dry, then wet. Kind of like my ex-husband Larry's butthole after one of his favorite burritos. Alright, so let's go on with the wet ingredients. Hold on just a second. What? Oh my God! No, you have got to be kidding me! No. Okay, well, all right. Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that a bomb threat has been called into the studio where we are filming today. Now, I know that this is very scary, but I do not want anyone to be alarmed, okay? I am sure it is just some prankster pulling a practical joke on all of us, okay? There's no need to leave. All right, everyone just stay in their seats. Also, you are not able to leave because I've been informed that if the bomber sees anyone leaving the premises, he will detonate. So just stay where we are. We'll continue with the show. And the authorities have been notified, so, you know, everything is going to be fine, okay? All right, so now for the wet ingredients. Very simple. All we need is a cup of milk, an egg, and 1/3 of a teaspoon of vegetable oil, all right? And now once that's all together, I'm just gonna give that a good stir until it's all combined, and it should be a very thick batter, okay? So don't be thrown off by that. It's perfectly normal. And that looks good to me, all right? And now I'm gonna let you in on my secret ingredient. Shh, don't tell. Now, this is what really makes it Mama's cornbread, okay? I like to add a can of corn to the mixture, okay? And I just find this adds a really nice texture and like mouthfeel to the whole thing. And now hold on just one moment. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, people, I've got some good news and bad news. Good news is that this so-called prankster has called into the studio with a list of demands. So the police are using that call to find out where this dude is, so they can apprehend him. So that's the good news. The bad news is this person does have some demands for me. And so if you see me acting just a little bit weird, it's just because of something I was told to do. So don't read into it, okay? And I was just told I should be smiling a lot because I look so pretty when I smile, but and so we're just gonna keep going, all right? So now I've got this mixture all mixed together, and I am just going to pour it into a pan. And you can use basically any pan. Today I'm going to be using a 10-inch glass pan, but anything you want, just kind of switch around the cooking time a little bit. Now let's get this batter in there. That looks yummy. All right. And now it's time for this to go in the oven, but hold on. All right, before we can put that in the oven, I am being asked to rate everyone in the audience's attractiveness. I am being asked to be as honest as possible. Apparently that was one of the demands. And, I am so sorry, people. This is just as uncomfortable for me as I'm sure it is for you, all right? So, let's just get started, all right? All right, in the very back I see a man with bald hair and a beard. And he is bald, but I sense kind of a charisma to him. So I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. Seems like a nice gentleman. Next to him is a more portly kind of gentleman. He reminds me a lot of my ex-husband Larry. Maybe it's the grimy little mustache. But I am going to have to give him a 2 out of 10. Nothing personal, sir. I'm sure you are just a lovely human being, but this is just a very shallow thing, so don't be offended. All right, I'm gonna come on over to this side of the audience. And right away I'm seeing a lovely older woman in a red coat. Oh, and she is older, but she's giving me kind of like a Helen Mirren, still like keeping it tight look. So I'm gonna give her an 8. She's lovely. And next to her is that your granddaughter? Oh, is that your granddaughter, Miss? She looks about 12, maybe. She is very awkward looking. Clearly very deep in the pits of puberty. Just uncomfortable to look at. I'm going to give her a 4, and sweetie, I'm so sorry. I'm sure that you will grow out of it, okay? Just a phase, okay? Lovely though, beautiful. Now over here, in the front row, I see there are 2 beautiful, stunning young ladies. Just both gorgeous, like they could be models, but beautiful in their own way, On the left we have like a very natural beauty, just radiating kind of inner light from within, and I think I'm going to give her a 10 out of 10. Just perfect looks and body and everything. Beautiful. Now, you on the right, your friend, she is also very beautiful. But I'm getting a little bit of like a bitchier vibe. Like, maybe she's really into like her sorority or something. But just both beautiful in their own way. So she is a 9. Still lovely, but just, just a little bit something different vibe. All right, people, I want to remind you, do not leave. You cannot leave your seats for any reason. I know you may want to because this is uncomfortable, but we really need everyone to just stay where they are, okay? Otherwise, this place could be blown to smithereens, all right? Now, okay, I think this cornbread, it needs to go in the oven right now. Otherwise, we're never going to have any cornbread. Now, I'm putting this into the second oven. Because the chicken's already cooking in the first one. Now, for those of you at home that only have one oven, that's okay. You can still make this dish, this meal, but you'll just have to wait for the oven to change temperature, all right? No big deal. So, there that goes in. And, I'm just going to pour myself a little drink, I think. This is not easy for me. And oh, that's good. Cornbread always reminds me of when I was a child, because my mother always used to make it every time we go up to our family's cabin. And we went up to the cabin a lot in the summer. Hold on. Okay. All right. We went up to the cabin a lot in the summer, so it's a very, like, nostalgic. I love to go to the cabin. And this one time I remember me and my brother Harvey, we used to share a room together in bunk beds and stuff. And so Harvey and I would we were sleeping in our beds, and one night I woke up and I felt something dripping on my face. And I was like, oh my God, there's a leak in the cabin. What on earth could this be? And then I woke up and I was like, Harvey, you know, what's going on? Like, there's a leak in the cabin. And he woke up and was like, what's going on? And then he was like, Debbie, there's no leak. I just piddled the bed. So what dripped onto me wasn't water. It was just Harvey's piddle. Well, the chicken is almost done, so I'm just going to prep the green beans. And, green beans, very simple. All you got to do, cook the green beans for about 5 minutes in hot water, and they will be good to go. I'm sorry, people. I'm not happy to be making green beans right now because I do not like them at all. And it is so, I just can't believe that the last meal I ever cook might be these disgusting green beans. I mean, they're just so limp and bland, just like my ex-husband Larry was. And oh my God, I just do not even want to make them at all. But hold on. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? They have located the threatener person, and you'll not believe it. It's my ex-husband, Larry! Oh, Larry, you old coot, you crazy. What, did you want attention or something? Jeez. Well, people, there is nothing to worry about, all right? Because Larry never followed through on anything. And that's why we got divorced. Oh, all right, that means that the chicken is almost ready. So I'm just going to take it out of the oven. And oh, this just looks delicious. And I bet it tastes even better. All right, just look at that thing. Now, let's get ready to cut into this. And hold on. Do y'all hear a ticking noise? I think I hear.
you still in the bathroom?
Yeah, but I'll be out in a second. What's up?
Okay, can you make it fast? Because I have got a poop the size of California inside of me. And if I don't get in there soon, it's going to be messy.
Sure, Dad. I'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming. Yeah, that's the end. I just have a couple of quick things to say, if that's okay. What time is it? Oh. All right. Okay, I'll just say this really fast. So, I know some of you may or may not know that that for the past summer, I have been an intern here at the Pocket Theater, and I have just gotten to see firsthand what a special place it is. I know it's probably some of your guys' first night here tonight, but I just think we should all give the owner and my intern supervisor, Sarah, a round of applause. So basically, I just emailed Sarah and I was like, hey, like, can I work here for the summer? And they've never met me before. And they were like, yeah, sure, like, we'd love to have you. And that's how I got my internship. And that's why I'm here tonight. And Sarah has just been super supportive of me this whole summer and has made working here just a great experience. And I hope that you all come and support the Pocket and come see more shows here. And oh, let's also have a quick round of applause for Sam, who did the tech tonight. Anyways, thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I'm trying to think if I have anyone else to thank. Oh, I'll say thank you to my parents, because they let me do kind of a dry run for them, and they gave me a lot of helpful feedback, which was great. And they are super supportive of my dreams. If anyone wants to hang out after the show, talk to me, congratulate me, you can do that out in the lobby, and I'll be out there in a few minutes. And also, anyone who wants to come hang out even longer, ask me about like my methods or whatever, you can come to North Star Diner. We're gonna be hanging out on the patio. Yes. Yeah. With my parents. So yeah. Anyways, thank you